2026 NBA mock draft, full first round. This is what I think will happen, not what I would do. I think I will do next week a mock draft where I only pick picks that I would personally make. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Start draft with the first pick. The Washington Wizards select Dybantsa. If you watch my past video I made a couple days ago, I talked about who the Wizards should take. In my opinion, they should take Darryn Peterson, but Dybantsa is, after the measurements, 6'10 with shoes, 42-inch vertical, 23, 24 points per game in college on insane efficiency. You just can't go wrong. And the Wizards need that number one on-ball scoring kind of guy if they don't believe they should do that with Trae Young like the Hawks did. So I just think he is the easy, safe pick. That's who they're going to go. With the second pick, the Utah Jazz select best player available, Darryn Peterson. Elite defense, elite offense, sharpshooter. Darryn Peterson's team is saying that he only wants to play point guard, and if you don't think Keontae George is a point guard, then Darryn Peterson can slip into that role. Now, he did have a whole month where he only got 5 assists in the whole month, so how good of a playmaker is Darryn Peterson? I don't know, but amazing prospect. I can't believe the Utah Jazz got him. And then, you know what? If the Wizards do get Darryn Peterson at 1, then Dybantsa was always destined to go to Utah, or maybe Utah does trade up to 1. Personally, I would not trade up to the first pick. I think the top 2 guys are solidified, and they're pretty much the 2 best guys, and there's not really a gap between them. So if you have to overpay for the first overall pick, don't trade up. With the third pick, the Memphis Grizzlies, they're going to go Cameron Boozer. I think they will. I think not only did he look amazing, advanced stats-wise, just overall in his college season. If you watched him, he was great. But his measurements and his combine was even better than everyone thought. He was faster than people thought. I'm pretty sure his agility was just as fast as Dybantsa, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, I think the Grizzlies go with him. And then pick 4, easiest pick of all time, Chicago Bulls. If you watch the press conference, they love the idea of slap, and Caleb Wilson is exactly that. Just amazing. His measurements came out good as well. So now we get... the top 4 are done. Those are the easy picks. I mean, not necessarily easy, but they're obvious. Now, pick 5, the Clippers. The Clippers are in a weird position because they don't have any of their own draft picks for the next 4 years. They don't have a reason to be good for the next 4 years. So maybe you go with a win now player. Maybe you go with an Aday. Now, I'm not going to pick that because if you are the Clippers, you do want the fans to buy in. I don't know if you could justify to the fans that you're picking a 21, 22-year-old to go pick 5, even though I think it might be best for him, because I think Aday is amazing. Do you go Darius Acuff, though? I also don't think so. You're trying to win for the next 3 to 4 years. I personally don't think they will trade a Kawhi Leonard. They'll just keep him, and they'll try and contend. And for that reason, and also this guy has both offensive, defensive potential. He's young. His wingspan didn't look great, but all of the other drills, he did amazing in the combine. I'm going Kingston Flemings. People, yeah, they're talking about the wingspan, but you know what? Kawhi Leonard cannot guard ball at the age of 35, 36, 37. As he's getting older, he can't. And Flemings, you don't need that good of a wingspan to guard ball. Now, maybe if you're trying to play in the passing lanes and stuff, it might be a little bit of a problem, but I think Flemings can be that point of attack defender, and I think he has offensive potential. And he could actually play next to Darius Garland. Now, pick 6 is tough because if you're the Nets, I mean, last year you drafted like 3 different point guards. And I know Igor Demon is kind of more of a wing, and that's how he's been playing in the NBA. But you got Traore, you got Ben Suraf, so maybe you're not looking for a point guard, but maybe you just go with best player available. I think that's what they're going to do. I'm going to have them take Darius Acuff Jr., just an overall hooper. Maybe he can't play defense, but maybe he can. He has the 6'7" wingspan, and maybe now that he's on the Nets and he can share the court with a Michael Porter Jr., with a Igor Demon, with all these guys, he can actually put more effort into defense, and he's not going to be as bad. And if he is not a bad defender, if he's only a little bit below average, he's going to be an amazing player. I mean, arguably, offensively, the best guy in this draft. With pick 7, the Sacramento Kings select, I think this might be a kind of easy pick, Mikel Brown Jr. I think they need a guy with star potential. It is so unfortunate that they even fell to 7. And I think Mikel Brown Jr. does have that. I mean, the dude is crazy athletic, shoots threes like Damian Lillard, has defensive potential as well, can play make, can make very tough reads. I think this is an easy pick. I think they would obviously want Acuff, but this is not the end of the world for them. The Atlanta Hawks. Now, if you're the Hawks, because I'm a Hawks fan, you either want a true point guard or a true center. And there's pretty much 2 options for that, in my opinion. There's LeBaron Filan Jr., who is a true point guard, and there's Aday. I think Aday is really good. I'm going to have him go 8. I think he's an amazing playmaker, amazing rim protector, and the Hawks haven't had a tall center in so long besides the 10 games we had of Porzingis. I mean, a 9'9" standing reach. I'm not going to overthink it. Pick 9, Dallas Mavericks. I'm going to go Keaton Wagler. for the reason of maybe they kind of do need a true point guard, but I think everyone on Dallas is so athletic when it comes to like a Derek Lively, a Cooper Flag, a PJ Washington, that you could get away with Keaton Wagler's, lack of measurements, lack of defense, because he is such an offensive talent. He is such a half court guy. And I just don't know how much I believe in Cooper Flag in the half court setting. And I think Wagler will just thrive next to him. Pick 10, Milwaukee Bucks. I'm assuming that Giannis will be traded and they'll be going into some sort of rebuild. So you're going to go with best player available, the guy with the highest ceiling. And in my opinion, I hear some people talk about Nate Ament. I just don't think he's at that level yet in terms of being a prospect. But maybe that is who Milwaukee, because this isn't who I'd pick. This is who Milwaukee would pick. Milwaukee would pick Nate Ament. His measurements came out insanely good. They just had a guy like Giannis, or they still do, but they're going to trade him. Maybe they think that they could develop Nate Ament to be a sort of Giannis, because I mean, like lengthwise, like he is coming in just as skinny, just like Giannis did. Lengthwise, he has a wide wingspan. Well, actually, no, his wingspan didn't measure in great, but he measured in taller than expected. So his wingspan isn't that bad compared to how tall I thought he was. So maybe it's stupid, but I have the Bucks selecting him. At pick 11, the Golden State Warriors. Now, the first thing you think of is they need a big man, and I kind of want to give them a big man, but what they really need is a guy who can put the ball in the basket. They need some offense. When I watched the Warriors last season, they could not do anything without Stephen Curry. I mean, Pods was probably the number 2 scoring option. So you know what? I'm going to go with something a little unorthodox. Something that would never have been projected, a couple weeks ago. But because of the combine and everything that's happened in the combine, this guy has skyrocketed on big boards. I'm going Cameron Carr. I know it's crazy, but he is such an offensive beast. He can score. He's a shooter. He's 6'6". His wingspan is like 6'11", I think. I mean, they need a scorer for when Steph Curry retires in a couple years, and I think Carr could be that guy. Then at pick 12, I think the on-brand pick would be Brayden Burries, but the OKC Thunder already have so many of those guys of guards who can defend. I think they'll go with the Yaxel Lendeborg. Not only personality-wise do I think he matches the Thunder, but he also fits their need. I mean, eventually they need some lengthy 6'10", small forward, power forward kind of wings instead of all of these perimeter guards. I mean, we're getting to a point where AJ Mitchell and Casey Wallace look so good, but they're only getting like 18 minutes a night. But yeah, Yaxel Lendeborg, just amazing. Can kind of do a little bit of everything at the NBA level. And those are the kind of guys who get minutes at the NBA level, especially in the playoffs. 13, Miami Heat. I think the Heat need a guard who fits the Miami Heat culture. So even though I don't think he's the best guard available, because I kind of think that's Phylon, I think the Heat would pick Brayden Burries. Just all-around winner. He'll do whatever you ask him to do. He'll shoot the ball at an efficient rate. He'll guard. He'll get a rebound. He'll get a block. He'll do all those things. Next, pick 14. Even though I think the Hornets technically do need a center, I think they have just drafted their recent centers in Dybantsa a couple years ago, in Ryan Kalkbrenner, and what I think they really need is a backup power forward or someone who could eventually start at the power forward position. And this guy has been skyrocketing, obviously, with the national championship. I'm going Morez Johnson Jr. I mean, he's just been a beast. Combine, great. Measurements, he ended up being not only longer than people thought, but taller than people thought. And he'd just be a perfect fit on this Hornets team. Pick 15, Chicago Bulls. First, they got Caleb Wilson, and they could get a true center to play next to him. You know what? No, but I don't think they'll do it. I think they will go best player available. Actually, they're not doing that either. They have the slap mentality, and someone who I think fits that perfectly is Karim Lopez. He has a lot of size. He can play make really well. He can finish. The only thing that isn't there is the shooting. But if that gets developed, he's going to be easily a lottery talent, in my opinion. Pick 16, Memphis Grizzlies. They already got Cameron Boozer, so I think they're going to go a guy. Well, they're just going to go with the guy who they think is best. They'll always pick these 6'8", 6'9" wings who can finish around the rim and shoot threes. And in my opinion, I mean, he's not that much of a three-point shooter, but Dailyn Swain is going up in the big boards recently, and I think he will be a top 20 pick for sure. He even could be lottery, but I think the Grizzlies do go with Swain. And then we got the Thunder again at 17. And if there was a guy like Brayden Burries, or there was a guy who was a defensive guard who was kind of in this range, maybe they'd pick him, but because that's not available, I don't know how much you can trust. Like, I don't know if they want to resign Hartenstein. I don't know how much you can trust like a Thomas Sorber. So I'm giving them Cenac Jr., a lengthy big who could really finish inside, and he shot a lot of mid-ranges in college. I hope that does go down, because I don't think that suits the NBA play style of what a team's going to want from him. But I think if a team develops him properly, he's going to be amazing. Pick 18, Charlotte Hornets. There's some really good centers on the board, so because I didn't have them going with the center with the earlier pick, I am going to have them go Jayden Quaintance. Just really good big defensively, super long wingspan, can guard. It's only like the offense and like the three-point shot that you hope he can develop, because he's not the tallest center ever. But even if he can't shoot, he's going to be really impactful. And he probably should go higher in this draft. All right, he's fallen too much in this draft, in my opinion. And trust me, I think he's a top 10 prospect. I just think this is how it's going to go. Pick 19, Raptors. Don't overthink it. Go LeBaron Fallon Jr. Just an amazing guard offensively. Has potential defensively. He's great. Then at pick 20, I mean, this team is trying to contend. The San Antonio Spurs. I'm going to have them go with a power forward. I think that's what they really need. That's what they're really lacking is size that can shoot. So Thomas Hugh just did everything at Florida. Is an older guy. He can shoot the three. He can defend. He's actually a pretty good defender. I definitely wouldn't overthink that. And then the Detroit Pistons. So right now they're down 3-2. What do they really need? You know what? I'll just say it. They do need some offense. And if you need offense in this draft, but also they don't need a small guard. They already have a bunch of good small guards like a Sasser and like a Jenkins. I'm going to go Isaiah Evans. I know they have Duncan Robinson and Kevin Huerter, but hopefully Isaiah Evans has more defensive potential because both of them are complete cones, especially Kevin Huerter. He played 3 minutes last night in the game and was just absolutely getting torched. Like there's a reason he only got 3 minutes. At pick 22, we got the Sixers. I think they just need someone who's going to get minutes in the playoffs, someone who can play the four, who has a little bit of size. I'm going to go Alex Caravan. I think teams are really going to be high on him because of what he's been asked to do at UConn for so long. Like he's been asked to do everything, be the number 1 scorer, be the number 3 scorer, defend this, defend that. Like he could do a little bit. He's a Swiss Army knife, and that's what they need. Pick 23, the Atlanta Hawks are back after picking Mara at 8, and I'm going to have them go Bennett Sturts. I think they need an actual point guard. I think he can play the point guard position very well. He's an amazing shooter, and honestly, yeah, the Hawks spacing was not great in the playoffs. He'd be a great fit. New York Knicks, they need a center because after Cat and after Mitchell Robinson, like I think they both got into foul trouble one of those games versus Philly, and then they had to play Ariel, I don't even know his name, or like Trey Jamison. That's the depth chart right now. I'm going to go best player. He's probably not going to fall this low. That's just how it has panned out in my mock. I'm going Hans Steinbach. Just an amazing rebounder. The only thing I don't like about him is when I was watching one of his games in college where he did have like a 20-20 game, but like he was just camping in the paint the entire offensive possession. Like he has a kind of nothing on offense besides getting those rebounds, in my opinion. But we'll see how he develops in the NBA, and maybe even the Knicks can develop it. Next up is the Lakers, and they don't need any more offense. Like they are completely fine on that. So I'm going to have them go Koa Pete. It's a risky pick because they are trying to win right now, and he has no offensive skills, but the defense is that good. Hopefully he's a better offensive player than Jared Vanderbilt. As long as you're better than that, Koa Pete's really good. He's probably going to be a better defender than Jared Vanderbilt even. So he'll get minutes in the playoffs, even in his rookie year. Pick 26, Denver Nuggets. I think they need a legitimate 2 for the future. Even a 1 probably. Like I don't know if Jamal Murray's really going to stay with that big contract, and the GM of the Nuggets said there will definitely be moves made in the offseason. But I'm going to go Tunde Yesufu. I mean, just an amazing scorer. Honestly, when I watch him, I know he's not as good, and there's some things that concern me about his game, but he does look like an Anthony Edwards light. Pick 27, Boston Celtics. I'm gonna go with just a Celtics kind of pick, like a pick that you don't really expect, but is actually gonna be really good. I'm going to go with Buka Okori. He has skyrocketed in the big boards because of his measurements and his overall combine. I mean, it's either that or a center, but I don't think there's that many good center prospects. And I do think the Celtics were good enough to win that series and really compete in the playoffs this year. They just got unlucky with the 3-pointers and Jason Tatum being hurt in that game 7 and Jaylen Brown not stepping up. So they're probably going to go with a guy who they can develop a little bit. The Minnesota Timberwolves are at 28, and they have good forwards. They have good bigs. They just need a couple good guards. Like they have Ayo and Ant, but besides that, I don't really trust anyone else, especially with the unfortunate Dante injury. So I'm going to give them Christian Anderson. I think personally I'd go Tyler Tanner here potentially, but I just know for sure the Wolves will be the type of team to draft Christian Anderson over a Tyler Tanner. Cavs are at 29, and they could definitely use a wing, so I'm going to give them Amari Allen. And then pick 30, Dallas Mavericks. We already gave them Keaton Wagler, but I don't think they really need too many more forwards or bigs, so I'm going to go ahead and go Tyler Tanner at pick 30. So this is my mock draft. I might have slipped away a little bit from what they would do, and I kind of went with what I think they should do when it came to like picks 20 through 30. And there were definitely some falls for sure, but what do you guys think? Did I pick right for your favorite team? Did I pick wrong? Do you think they'll go differently? Let me know in the comments. If you like the video, and peace out.